On today's episode of WatchJRGo, Project Winner continues. Really, I lose all my money on my Audi R8. What is going on, guys? I am WatchJRGo, and today, well, last night, in the middle of the night, my 2008 Audi R8 with the Heffner Twin Turbo kit sold for a massive loss. And I would love to just come out there and tell you, but I'm pretty sure the dealer that bought it would not appreciate me telling everyone what they bought it for, because everyone's gonna think that's what it costs. And it's definitely going to be marked up quite a bit. They have to transport it, they have to do a whole bunch of stuff, obviously. So it won't be selling for what I sold it for, but it's still gonna be, honestly, when they sell it, they've told me they were gonna sell it cheaper than what I have in it. So it's a huge loss. For me, I'm eating the loss, and somebody else gets a car. But that is not why we're here today. Why we're here today is it's time to do that brake and oil change. It's probably got 1,400 miles on the engine now, maybe 1,500, and I wanted to change it at 1,000. That's what was recommended. But obviously, like, it's a lot of work to change, and it takes 12 quarts of oil. So we have 12 quarts of oil there, 5W40. We have the Molly filter. I'm gonna pull this thing over and try to get it on the lift. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have to put a whole bunch of wood down there and drive up on ramps to get it on those lifts. But we're gonna do this Audi R8 oil change together because it's a big job. It's very involved. It's almost the level of the old Bugatti $20,000 oil change, but it's only $120 instead of $20,000, and you can do it pretty easily. I mean, you can do the Bugatti one easily too. So let's get to it. It's just an oil change. Let's finish this thing off. We've got the supercar door squeak, as you would expect. Here we go. Sketchy lift's complete. Let's do an oil change. I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty impressed by the balance. I pulled the car way forward because of the rear engine funness there. It's about a foot farther than I'd put any other car on the asymmetric lift there. All right, going inside the beast. We could definitely suction this thing out, and the oil filter is on top. It's actually right there beside the intake, and that makes this very easy to do from the top with the suction system. But if you do it from the bottom, there's like 5 drain plugs, so it's like doing the Bugatti oil change, which is why we're doing it this way. So up she goes. Now, it's been a long time since I've done, well, an engine out on this car. I think what we have to do here is, obviously there's a drain plug here, a drain plug here, they're marked, and then there would be one there, but that's the turbo oil sump return. So that's not a one you can pull anymore. I think there's a drain on the sump right here. I mean, obviously the sump tank's right here, so I think I need to pull this underbody panel and all the NACA ducts and all that stuff. So let's jump right into the time lapse with some Torx drivers, T30, and rip the whole bottom off this car. And then one day, you got in. I got in. Anyway, that new engine looks amazing in here. It's beautiful. Big part of my life. But it's got to go away. Now we can access that last drain plug on the bottom of the sump right there. Yep, that's it. So 3 drain plugs and we will have this out. These are triple squares, and very small triple squares. I have to go find those. I hope they're here. The engine drain bolts are M8s. And the sump is M12, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use a wrench. First, it's in a bad place. It's gonna spill oil everywhere, which is unfortunate. The clutch line from the factory routes right through there. And then all the turbo oil lines are in there now, so that's gonna make a little bit of a mess. I think I'm gonna pull the engine first so that we can get the thing drained down, and then we'll pull the sump to make sure everything's out, and we should be good to go. I don't think it'll take more than 10, 15 minutes to do the oil change. If you're doing this at home, and I can't stress this enough, vacuum the oil out before you pull this up. What a mess. I basically covered the whole floor with oil because it went everywhere and there was nothing I could do about it. And it's still draining all over, so I'm gonna have to brake clean all those brand new AN lines and all that. But hey, it's just about empty. Still draining up here and getting the tools clean, getting the drain plugs clean, and we'll be ready to put this back together here in just a few minutes and head up top to pull the filter and fill the thing. The R8 is drained down. It's time to put the underbody tray back on. This is a lot of fun. There's, what, 20 fasteners that hold this thing on? But they give you a nice little metal strip here that's tensioned, and that like sets this thing in place, and it's basically completely lined up once you put those 2 screws in. So there's one, and here is the second. Oil filter time. It is the Moly OX350/4D. Unlike a lot of supercars, this is in like every Audi there is for the most part. And Johnny keeps these things in stock. Apparently so in stock we found a spider. I've had this sitting here for like 6 months. So I've already loosened up the oil filter. It's been just sitting in the housing so it would drain down. Who knows if it'll actually drain down. Well, that's kind of annoying. Let me get a screwdriver, pop that vacuum line off, and we'll get it out. I don't think you have to do this if you have a stock car. It should be quite a bit more accessible. There's just so many extra hoses and vacuum lines added to this car. Now we have the room we needed. The filter is black. So the last thing we need is to swap out this O-ring. Use the same screwdriver and just get a bite underneath it. It has little cutouts to make that easy. Pull the O-ring off. Swap for the new one. These oil changes are really no big deal. It's just a tiny bit fancier than your run-of-the-mill Audi. The only reason it's even remotely complicated is because of the dry sump. Oil filter has a little nub with that O-ring on it. Turn it until it lines up. You'll find it. It'll definitely lock into place there. There we go. And then put the cap on and you should be home free. Well, if this was mine or any other car that I wasn't worried about already being sold, I would Bluetooth pour this, but we are not going to be able to Bluetooth pour today. There we go. And also, I'm completely out of Motul 5W40, so I got the only Euro spec 5W40 in the land. So O'Reilly's had this. This is what we're going with. And the Motul can go in my other Audi. You know, I think the last time we filled this, I did Bluetooth pour it, and you can do it. There you go, a completed oil change. The oil is on the bubble in the dry sump, and I drove it last night for the last time. It is sold now. Like, I have a check, so I probably shouldn't go play with it. I just texted the new owner, the dealer, and said oil's ready to go, and they're gonna drive it across country tomorrow. It's going to Oregon. Now that the R8's done, I'm gonna park it, and let's get on to the XC90 and get on to the Turo fleet. And the Dart is back from its first Turo rental now, and look at that. It's not wrecked, there's no new holes, nothing's wrong. Okay, a subscriber rented it, all right, of course, it's perfect. Huge thank you to Andrew for being the first person to rent the Dart, and now that it's back, the rearview mirror just came in because the old rearview mirror is junk. So let's take this to O'Reilly's, pick up some parts for the Volvo, and get everything wrapped up for the day. Around the edges, you can see that mirror is delaminating inside, so I picked up a new one from a salvage yard. I was supposed to take delivery of the next Turo car today, but the parts for that at the dealer I picked it up from didn't come in yet. We did get the GPS trackers, and those are getting installed. It's totally within the guidelines for Turo, so I'll know where the cars are at all times. What's up? Nada. Okay, here we've got some Dairy Queen and my new mirror. I think this was kind of expensive. I think it was nearly $60. It might have been like 50, but kind of expensive for a mirror off a Dart. You'd think that would be $1. This is it's not even like a Gentex, right? It's a Donnelly. Seems like this costs the OEMs like $1. It's got a little Torx driver. It looks like a 220. I'm gonna grab a Torx set. We'll throw it in the Dart, and the Dart will be ready to go back out for its next rent, which is already booked in a few weeks. If anybody wants to rent it between those times, it's ready to go. One more note on the GPS tracking in these cars. It's basically everywhere. Every dealership that you test drive a car at, I'd say tons of the cars on Turo. It's very common practice. It's not something weird that I'm doing, I promise you. I've been renting cars on Turo for years. Z06 after Z06, Range Rovers, Basically all the aspirational cars that I should be renting out instead of normal cars. What else? Porsche 911, stuff like that. They're pretty much all GPS tracked, and we've gotten calls while we've been out driving turbo cars before. And like one time we took a Z06 from LA to Vegas, and the owner called on the way there. He was like, "What are you guys doing? Making a little Vegas trip?" And we were like, "Yep." And he said, "Enjoy." So, I mean, it's pretty normal. Nobody really cares where you drive the car or how fast you're driving or anything like that. I mean, the renter was a police officer, and we were in Death Valley going like 170 in a rally. And he had no problem with that at all. And I don't think anyone does. We just want to be able to recover the car if it gets stolen. So, good times. New mirror installed. That's how long that took. This one's going in the trash. That mirror's installed and ready to go. I know yesterday I was really upset with the old XC90 from having to rebuild the cooling system, but today, only praise, only praise. This isn't like the Maserati, an SUV pretending to be something it's not. This is an incredibly nice family SUV. It drives wonderfully, it's super smooth, comes up, I mean, you get out on the highway with it, hit the cruise, and it just glides away. That's an O'Reilly's truck, I think. Check it out. I just called them, that's why the check engine light's on, because the MAF's bad in this. So we've got a low circuit voltage from the MAF. I'm gonna swap in a new MAF, and that should clear all the lights on the dash there. And this thing's ready to go to its next home. Like I said, Project Winter. Look at it cruising. And we'll hit the cruise here in a second and just let it eat. How do you use the cruise? I don't know how this works. And here is our new mass airflow sensor from O'Reilly's. Huge shout out to them for having that in stock. I don't have the tool in stock to change it though. That is a problem. So it's not a T20, it's not a T25, and it's not a T27. And it seems like it's like a T23, which, is that even a thing? You only see the common sizes of Torx, so like this is honestly really weird that it might be a 24, 23, 22, something like that. But it's clearly not a 20, and there's security Torx as well. So we're gonna do the old thing that I hate doing. We're gonna fix it, but we're gonna have to kind of tear up the screw more, and it's already torn up. Like somebody's replaced this once before. If this works like it usually does, you just kind of throw the screwdriver in there and get a bite. And of course, it's so incredibly tight. There it goes, it's turning. Okay, so I'm gonna get this screw all the way out of there. Hopefully it doesn't tear up the screwdrivers. These are my tiny OEM tool set. I love these things. And then we'll be able to swap out this MAF, and hopefully that's the last problem with this car. That wasn't too much work. Here goes the old one. It should rotate a little bit. There's an O-ring seal there, and then we can use the tabs to pull on it. There we go. Yeah. I mean, there's actual dirt buildup inside that MAF, I guess. Well, hopefully this one works better. Hopefully this is our problem solver. All right, time to put the screws back in, hook this thing up. Last time I jumped in the XC90, I read out the codes. I saw it was mass airflow sensor, circuit low voltage, and I cleared it and it came right back, like instantly back. This time I've cleared it and I read it again. No pending codes. So now I think the last deal here is, show me the warning. Anyway, it's bulb out. Low beam bulb out, which of course is because of the cheap LED headlights that were already in it when I got it. I'm not gonna put other headlights back because these work really well. Like, they're excellent lights. So I guess the little warning triangle will stay on forever. There's a chance it's the hood, so I'm gonna close the hood, but I'm pretty sure it's the bulb. It shows up every time I restart the car. It is definitely the headlights. A new headliner, an entire cooling system, cleaned up pretty well. I took it to the car wash a minute ago, and I think that's about it. I think that's a completed Volvo project. Project Winter, we just keep rocking. I actually went and drove this around for a while. It's got ice cold air, the auto climate works, the radio is excellent. really good for this tier vehicle. It's not into that, you know, $4,000 or $5,000 audio system in the luxury cars, but it's really good, and it has no problem getting around. And let's see, this is the OBD2 port cover. I need to put that back. Not to mention the ice cold air conditioning. It's got excellent heat as well. One of those days in Kansas where 72, I think 76 today was the high. I had the AC on, and it's already freezing again outside because the low is 32. So you get to use all of your climate control in one day. I paid for the whole climate control. I'm gonna use the whole thing. After the car wash, the Volvo is looking really good. I mean, it had just been sitting for so long. The tires were dirty and the wheels were dirty. A little door ding right there. Oh, it's tough to see. Oh, there, you can see it. Now you can see the little imperfections in the car, but it's pretty clean. And I am very happy with that. And that is it for today, guys. Saying goodbye to the R8 and the XC90 and welcoming a whole host of new vehicles. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.WatchJRGo.com for cool shirts, not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time.
Go.